Warm greetings to you all curious teachers of English. Language is believed to be best learned in context. This implies that when students are supposed to memorize lists of decontextualized words, they are unlikely to retain that vocabulary. So teachers should think of ways of introducing vocabulary in context. Quite often, the suggestion is to have the students infer the meaning of unknown vocabulary from context. But is it a good idea to ask students to infer the meaning of unknown vocabulary items from context? That is the question today. As mentioned, Penny warns us against it. The argument she gives is that the context does not necessarily indicate that, namely, that word or phrase should be used in that particular context. In addition, it can take a lot of time for students to make guesses. Let's try with this short text, shall we? How many words do you think your 7th graders will be able to guess? One of the problems with this close exercise is that all the blanks can be substituted with words that are not necessarily in the original text. For example, in the first case, they can use explore instead of discover. In the second, for sure instead of exactly, and admire instead of see. You are the only ones to know if having such close exercises can work in your classrooms. You can experiment and see how it goes. If it works for your context, then use it. If, however, you notice that too much time is spent for this activity and little remains for practice, probably you should either use another strategy or you may give your students a list of words to be used in the gaps. In this way, the students will use the vocabulary you have planned to teach, and it will take less time to guess which word is best suited for a blank space in the text. Honeyfield suggests, for example, 2 other exercises. The first one is the so-called words in context exercise. Students encounter the new vocabulary in context and use the surrounding context to arrive at the meaning through focused discussions. Let's use the same text to show how to create such an exercise. Ask the students to work in small groups and find the meanings of the words in italics by completing the questions and exercises. Now, the italicized words are landscapes and habitat. The exercise after the text can go like this. Multiple choice question type 1. In the text, a landscape is A. A picture of everything you can see outdoors. B. All the natural things you can see when you look outside. C. The format of a picture or document. It's definitely B. All the natural things you can see when you look outside. Multiple choice question type 2. Which of these pieces of information help you guess the meaning of habitat? A. It is a famous forest in Moldova. B. Bison live there. C. The plan to visit the natural reserve. Definitely B. Bison live there. The other exercise Honeyfield suggests is the so-called context enrichment exercise. Such exercises take students through several stages in which progressively more context is provided. This is supposed to show students how the more context one takes into account, the greater the chances of guessing an unknown word are. Students are given the following instructions. This exercise will help you to direct your attention to the kind of information that a context may give you. In the exercise, there are 3 sentences, each one adding a little more information. Each sentence has 3 possible definitions of the italicized word. On the basis of information in the sentence, decide if the definition is possible, probable, or improbable. Write one of these words on the line for each definition. 1. We can see who this is. A. Landscapes. B. Fresh air. C. Bison. 2. We can see who this is all day long. Landscapes, fresh air, bison. 3. We can see who this is all day long in their natural habitat. A. Landscapes. B. Fresh air. C. Bison. I'd like to make a confession. I learned a new word. Who's this? Which means someone or something whose name one does not know or cannot recall. If you choose to include such exercises in your teaching, make sure you explain the instructions to students, as they may not fully understand what they should do at first. Help them understand how adding more context can help them understand the meaning. Thus, in the first example, fresh air is rather improbable. When it comes to the other 2, they need to decide which one is probable and which one is possible. In the second example, they are supposed to get their confirmation that fresh air is improbable, yet they still can debate which of the remaining is possible and which one is probable. Finally, the third example will make it clear for them which one is possible, namely the C variant bison. These are the three ways of creating exercises meant to help students develop strategies to infer the meaning of unknown words in context on the one hand, and prove the importance of having more context to guess unknown vocabulary on the other. These exercises are cloze exercises, words in context exercises, and context enrichment exercises. Hope it was useful.